Amazing. Well, welcome everybody to our next AI Hackathon planning meeting. I'm so excited that you are here. You all know me, I'm Nicole, but Liz will be jumping in a half an hour. So I'm going to let you guys take it and run with it to find out all the amazing things that you guys have been doing. And I'm so excited to hear it. So, Sarah Beth and Arthur, if you want to kick it off and then just jump in from there, it'd be great.
Sarah, do you want to kick it off? Since I'm doing a few things here
Sure.
behind the scenes to get to make sure we're streaming, okay?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And forgive me, I am fighting with my cell phone company right now. My phone's not working. It's not doing the thing that a telephone's supposed to do, like make calls.
Let's hack it.
I know if there's an AI solution for that. So, as you guys know, we are clunking right along. We have a run a show idea thrown together or put together diligently. And so that has a lot of movable parts, dependent on if we end up getting sponsorships, on the content that you guys want to do as far as everybody's got 5 minutes to talk. If anybody wants to do any sort of playing in the sandbox type moment, we have some wiggle room to add you a few minutes. I just need some communication on what that looks like. And yeah, so we're moving and shaking. I'm sure you guys have seen Glitch the robot. We're all having a blast with that. That is
So cute.
a combination between marketing and Arthur and me and all of the people, but he's pretty much going to be kind of our virtual MC for the event. The plan is that he's going to do the introduction for each one of the teams. Um, and then, yeah, we were hoping that we could use him during the Q&A section to have him stream in. We think there might be some technical difficulties with having him do that. So we're looking at solutions to have him on the back end potentially to be a bot that can answer questions for anybody. Um, and yes, Pete, thank you for dropping that spreadsheet in the run a show. This is again malleable, dependent on everybody's needs. You can see that we have moments of activation options. We have 28 minutes currently slated for Q&A, but that's what we can pull out of for anybody that needs additional minutes. I'll let marketing discuss the pieces. We've asked them to do a slide deck so that we all have the same slide deck, but I'll let them talk about that and how to get access to it. Um, but I think that's it for now. Am I missing anything?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I did give Heidi a bit of a hand setting up the deck in Gamma AI, which I can bring over here. So this is Gamma AI. Um, so we did some of that, and then we also met with production yesterday, and we're going to create the assets for the live stream, so all the StreamYard assets.
Yeah, so
And
Arthur, I think I can speak to production.
sure, yeah, that's it on our time.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you. So actually, there's quite a few things happening on our end, and we've been meeting religiously to make sure that we're staying on track and we're meeting deadlines. And what I would like to have is each part of our team that is working on different elements go through a bit of the update because we're talking about the virtual event platform, we're talking about the streaming via StreamYard, we're talking about assets, we're talking about chatbots, we're talking about pre and post event content on demand, run of shows, agendas, all of that, right? So you all culminates at the end of the day with the event, the live event, but then also what happens afterwards with all the resources that we're creating for people to be able to peruse and hopefully glean some value from. So we have Jennifer, we have Michelle, we have Sarah as well, and Arthur jumping in with some of the assets. So let's start with Michelle. Michelle, are you ready to go a little bit? I don't see you anymore. Did she drop off?
Michelle?
Yeah, I thought I saw her for a second, but I'm not sure
Yeah,
if she
oh,
dropped off.
Michelle Carey. No, she's here. Michelle, you with us, girl?
Okay, if not, Jennifer, let's go over the chat base bot integration. I don't see Peter from the platform joining us today, but that's okay. Let's see what we got on that end.
Michelle just joined her phone, so
Oh, got it. Got it. We'll go
So
to
on
her
our end,
next.
Peter and I from TK Events, we met yesterday because we were looking at Chatbase, which is a chatbot that you kind of integrate and embed into any sort of platform. So uh, right now he's made an account so I made an account and I created a chatbot based on our Google Drive and some extra information. And I did find that it has some incorrect information. I think we just have a lot of information in the Google Drive, so it's not necessarily taking the most current. So I'm hoping each team can maybe make a folder within their folder that's like current documents so that I can strip from those links so that I'm using because it keeps saying the event is on September 23rd and it's like I try to add things in. So if we can kind of make sure that all our documentation is current, maybe, or maybe even just create an archive folder, whichever one you want to do, works for me. So Peter from TK has made his own account, and I'm just going to copy what I've made into his account. So right now, because we have the free one, we can only kind of share backend access if we upgrade to the more expensive platform. We will need to look at that just because there's only a certain number of messages we can get within the free platform, which we will easily hit. I think if we have 200 people, we're going to need to upgrade. That being said, I'm just going to I've made Glitch Botson is the name of our chatbot. I got his face in there from those documents. So thank you, Arthur, for those. And so we can I'll send the link around so everyone can kind of play with it as well in the sandbox, so you kind of get an idea of what kind of responses. But Peter is looking into how right now he showed me a screenshot. He shared a screen of the website, the platform, and right now it's taking up quite a bit of real estate. So he's going to try to work on how to make it just, the little icon that you see on just normal websites where it's just the circle, on how we can do that and how we can make it we talked about different tabs because right now you can't have it in the live chat. So how can he be within the live chat? If not, what do we want that to look like? Is it just going to be post-event, pre-event? During the event, will we have two chats, one with the AI chatbot and one for just participant chats? So we're kind of looking at what we can do, and he's going to play around. Once I get everything uploaded into his end, he can kind of see how he can embed it and make it look a little more seamless and a little more polished.
And I think, Jennifer, I think it's a great point to create this a difference between why are we talking about two different chatbots. And during the live event, the platform has embedded their own chat, right? So this is when multiple attendees can talk to each other the same way how we're doing in the chat right now. The chat-based bot is supposed to be pre-event, during the event, and post-event. So this is kind of like your Chat GPT on steroids, trained on our content that you can go back to and ask a question. What did the team struggle with? What was some of the things that surfaced during their meetings? Things like that, right? So it's not necessarily that live interaction that we're trying to do during the event. It's supposed to last 3 months or whatever, how long we decided post event, to still be able to go to and access it as your bot. Am I right, Jennifer?
Yes. And the good thing is you can create an icon that looks like our little robot. So at least you can see the difference between the two chats. It won't be two of the same chat bubble. You can see it kind of will look like Glitch, and this one will look like the chat within the platform itself.
Awesome. Love it. Okay. Talking about the platform, Michelle, are you able to just give us a little bit of rundown what's going on there and also on Snapsite integration?
Yep. So yes, so my computer's doing the same thing Sarah's phone is doing. It's not working. That's why I called my phone. But let's see. So I'm going to be building the official platform that we're going to basically be running the show from, and I'll be creating that off. Peter created an email for basically this event that we're going to be utilizing for us as our login, just so we don't have to use our personal emails. So I'll be creating that. And then over this week, I'll be creating the platform, building like the initial that we'll be using for the actual show. And then Snapsite, we're going to be embedding into the platform so that in real time, we'll have content being created with showing the audience key highlights. You can do a word cloud. And I'm also seeing what else it can do. As of right now, I just have the light version, but that's only can have up to 45 minutes. We're gonna do a test run on with the platform and using the Snapsite to see what it does for our next meeting. So we'll have a better understanding of what the content will be being created is.
And for those who are not familiar with Snapsite, what it offers you, it's kind of like your end of session summaries and word clouds and integrations where you can go and have something social shareable content that you can use right away. I don't know if you have any show and tell, Michelle, that if anybody wants it, we can send you a link,
Yeah.
but it's part of the Sparkit platform. So if you worked in Sparkit, if you work with Give Me, they have deployed Snapsite. I've used them at events. It's pretty cool. So we're trying to get it to be part of our platform. Now, getting them to be a sponsor, that's where Liz will tell us more about if that's going to work out or not. Talking about the platform, I think this is where we want to start thinking about the Sugo registration integration. And I know, wasn't Natasha, were you working on that? Do we know who's working on the Sugo registration? Or was that Liz?
I don't think we're using Swugo. We're using Luma for the registration.
So
We're using
we dropped Sugo? Okay.
No, I mean, I don't know if we dropped Swugo, but we never had them to begin with. Like it's been Luma from the beginning for us.
So the reason why Sugo came into, I guess, into question, because on the platform side, you can only integrate with Sugo. So when
Oh, I
you're
see.
pulling
Yeah,
registration
I think we
data,
decided just not to do any integration on the reg side.
Oh,
okay.
because that's one of the first questions when we're building the platform is what registration do you want to integrate with
Exactly.
the platform?
Because
But I think there is more than just Sugo option. Annika, I think when we first met with them, they had mentioned that they had integrated with a couple of different registration options. So is the registration platform completed that we can integrate if we needed to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys want, I can give just a quick marketing
That's awesome.
update. So we have officially launched Reg. You can see, let me pull up the beautiful site that Natasha put together for us. So this is our final Brains Behind the Bots website, which was coded by Natasha. So I'll just scroll really quick so you guys can get an overview. We have a summary here of like who the event is for, what you'll get out of it, and then link to register. And when you go to register, this is where it will take you to the integration with our Luma site. So you can either register here, or we also have a standalone Luma page where you can go through and do the registration. I know Dax isn't on, but we did put some of the questions that he had in his event survey into the registration form. So we'll be getting that data from there as well. Then I also posted in the channel, and I'll post the link again. I'll post in the Zoom chat too. But if you want your logo on here to be like, I participated in this event, I'm part of it, we're collecting that right now in a spreadsheet. So, or even if you don't want a logo, you just want to do like your headshot and your name as a participant, as like you're one of the brains behind this. We're going to add a section either like here or here. That's who participated in building the event. So definitely want to make sure that you guys have that. And then if we have any sponsors, we will of course add those to the website as well. But the biggest update is just that our reg is live. So let's start promoting this as much as we can. I put in the general AI hackathon channel a post that you can reshare from Glitch. Sarah and Arthur helped us put together this really cute video of like Glitch talking and hyping up the hackathon. So definitely reshare this when you get a chance. Or if you would rather to make a post on your own, we do have this image. Oops, did I put the wrong link? Oh no. this image that Heidi created where you can put your headshot and title in here. And we provided some Canva instructions for how you can do that. And we've also provided some sample text that you can use to post. So we would love if you guys either use this customized post or reshared glitch post or just make some kind of post letting people know that registration is live for the event. We have about 3 weeks to get the word out. So definitely will help to get that initial amplification. Any
That looks
questions?
amazing. Yeah, thank you, Dara. That's amazing. So when you register and when you get your confirmation email, what is the link in that confirmation email? Where does that send you?
We don't have that like set up yet. We have it just so that it's like just the confirmation page. It says thank you for registering and more information to come soon. And so I think we can, once we have that link that you guys want us to put in there or whatever, we can add that. Or we can send them an update email that's like, here's the link before the event is about to start, closer to
Yeah.
when the event starts.
Yeah, because I think that's the link that Michelle will
Mhm.
create on the platform side, and then we can embed it into the confirmation emails. And then once that's set up and ready to go, then you can start marketing it full throttle. Yeah, looks great. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks really good. Are we still going to be opening it up a couple
Sorry.
days beforehand?
Quick question about the platform link register. Sorry, I had to throw myself on top of all of you guys here. You can't see that; it's on the stream. But so is it going to just be one link, an open link to everyone who registers? Like, how are we going to? Will it track who's attending? Like, who actually showed up to the event, or is it? Or are we just sending out a general link that anybody can access? Because typically, how these platforms will work is that each attendee gets their own magic link, right? Which is has a specific identifier, so that it will we can see the analytics in the platform of who actually logged in. You'll be able to see who registered on the registration side, but we won't. Will we be able to actually see who logged in? Right, because if it's just a open link that anybody can join, then there's no real way to track who showed up, how long they stayed, etc.
Yeah, that's a great question, Arthur. And I think the reason why we're talking initially of Swoogo is because it has a native integration with the platform, so you would be able to get that magic link. I think this is a conversation that we can take offline with Peter to find exactly out what does that look like now that we're embedding just the platform, his own virtual, what is it called again, Michelle? Virtual
Creator Studio.
Yeah,
Creator
Creator
Studio.
Studio. And if we do get any analytics this way, or is just that who registered is a part of the analytics? Because you're right, like, how do we check both ends that who registered also showed up and then also stayed, and then, for how long?
Yeah, I think when they first talked about it, if the Sugo was able to do that, but maybe we can get with Peter and ask him if the Luma would be fine, and maybe it has the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dara, you had a question?
No, it was on accident. Sorry, I didn't mean to raise my hand.
Oh, no worries.
Although
Yeah,
I
I
do agree
mean,
with what Jennifer said is if they could just put a login page at the start, we could match it up with what they put in Reg.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
True.
Awesome.
Okay.
Great. Just a quick note. I've been actually working on an AI production assistant to be our AI hackathon in Slack assistant, and it's halfway done. I ran out of credits with Cloud Code, talking about the $200 a month, Arthur. And I'm like, that would come handy right about now. And it was ready to be deployed. And what it would do is actually technically that task management, gap analysis, timeline monitoring. So being kind of like being our own assistant, but the big difference here is that it runs in Slack, it monitors, but not in the whole Slack, just in our channel, AI Hackathon. So it can just go and read people's messages or others' channels. And then you would ask it question, okay, what else are we working on? Like, for example, maybe something of the nature, oh, what is when is registration launching? What is the new platform that we're working? Like anything that we missed, because there's a lot of communication that goes on. And then if you're checking in once a month, once a week, or once whatever blue moon, you might be missing some of the tasks in the event preparation. And when it's ready, I'll have it showcase. Right now, all the endpoints are created. The webhook is created. The integration with OpenAI is created. It's just the deployment. When I was about to test it, I ran out. But that's all I think on our end. Sarah, did you want to touch on agenda to showcase, just share screen where we are, what are some of the gaps, and what are some of the ideas that surfaced during some of our meetings? And then Pete, thank you so much for putting together all these documents. Pete is keeping us honest to make sure that we stay on track and we don't miss deadlines.
Yeah, here, give me just a second to share my screen. Do. All right. So in general, the idea is to have Mr. Glitch do the event kickoff and intro, and then have Liz pop in live and do high level goals, set housekeeping rules, et cetera, et cetera. And then you'll see I have these interactive components slated in here in moments. These are flexible moments of something to break up in between each one of these teams. I think I mentioned if like the marketing team wants to do some sort of exercise, then we can pop an interactive component and give them more than 5 minutes. But essentially, Glitch is going to give an intro to the marketing team. I was just going to pull information from each one of our Google Drives to give him a script and then have him pop together a 30-second marketing team. That's also on the back end going to give Anka the ability to switch in whatever miracle that needs to occur, so that if a team is clearing their screen, she can reset so the next team can reset the screen. So that is a purposeful, not only engagement moment, but also purposeful moment for production side. So each team will have 5 minutes unless requested otherwise, for an interactive component. And then we popped in a 8 minute moment of is it AI or is it not, led by Arthur, who's going to kind of lead us through an exercise. And again, we'll pop through all of the teams, and each team will have 5 minutes to present. And we have 28 minutes slated now for the Q&A. Again, this gives us plenty of flexibility. We can pull out of the Q&A portion to give us more interactive moments if needed. Or if one team is like, hey, mine's really cool, it's going to take me more than 2.5 minutes to do that, we can pull from the Q&A section. I also like to keep a Q&A section a little padded in case individuals get slightly verbose to keep us in within our 90 minutes. And then a goodbye end cap by Liz.
Question about the Q&A. I guess this is kind of an more on the production side. So how many of us are actually logging into StreamYard, A, and B, for Q&A, who's going to be A-ing the Qs? Because like we're not going to have everyone on screen, right, Anka?
Yeah, so we will only have the speakers on StreamYard, right? Like the speakers that will go on. And then we can take turns. So like, for example, if there's a bunch of us, we have to take maybe a head count to kind of get an idea. I have 10 seats as speaker spots. That doesn't mean that we can slot people in teams, right? Like, let's just say we're bringing in the marketing team, and then there's like 8 of them, and they're on stage and they take turns. If that's a live presentation and we have 8 of them, then I'll have them all on screen. They take turns, they talk about what they worked on, and same would be with all the other teams. But then when they're done, they exit, and then they still watch the event, the front end side being in virtual creator studio, right? So the StreamYard only acts as the live stage, like the same way how in an event you go on stage, you talk, and then you exit left or right, and then you're in the audience watching what's happening. So that's something that I will be working on the back end to create that flow. Once we know who is on each team that is presenting, is it the entire team? Is it just a couple of people? How does that flow? And that's kind of the purpose of us trying to get a little bit of of a understanding of what's going on in each one of those segments, and be able to
Yeah,
flow well,
because
because
just one thing I'm thinking is like if people are joining in and out, the actual stream, because you're embedding a YouTube stream into the platform,
into
right?
yes, yeah.
So that'll be a 30-second delay.
He said it's about 10 seconds. It used to be back in the days.
Yeah, okay. So maybe 10. Okay, so 10 seconds isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that tells me that we need names for each one of the pieces. And maybe we proactively say it's, each team designate one person for the Q&A section. And then maybe Liz is looking at the questions in the chat to see which questions we need to raise. I'm assuming there's not like in a Zoom where we have a Q&A section and it pops up as a separate thing. I'm assuming that somebody's going to actually have to manually look at the chat and gather the questions. Is that correct?
Yeah, and we can always put those questions on the screen. So you have the overlay option to just put them on the screen. And that kind of the queue up question. So let's say
But
we're talking about,
you could put the questions from the platform on the screen from StreamYard?
no, on StreamYard, the questions that would come from the chat itself. So like I would have a team, someone on our end, right, and on production end, copy and pasting, so we can get it,
Gotcha.
from the platform into that. Yeah.
So then we'll have that conversation with the production team at
Yeah,
who's
like we obviously there's a few things. That's why for me, as much as we can prepare to get and have an understanding of what the flow is, the run of show, then I can start working on a Q to Q,
Mhm.
so that I have those cues ready to go and I have each element ready to be pushed, because there's a lot of work. I mean, this is a full-fledged show, as you guys can see. So if we want to make it look professional and well done, we have to have all those elements dialed in by then. That's why we have a technical rehearsal, hopefully happening on the 17th, where all of us get in there, we run through our cues, and then we're ready to go on the 24th.
And this is the one piece we can't figure out how to outsource to AI is collaboration between teams.
That's
And
what the
for
AI
that,
production assistant is supposed to do, Sarah. But it's deployed late, so it's on me. Sorry.
well, I mean, still, we still need everybody's brains to decide how they want to present, and that's still one of the things that we can't, AI has not been able to replace our brain holes.
No, maybe that's a key. That's a key insight from this event.
Here, highlight that. That's one of our quotes. Has not been able to, because we still need to wrap our head around what we're doing on stage. We still
Yeah.
have to figure out what our interactive components are. Like in event management, this is the one piece that we can get suggestions from AI, but still the creative direction is our decision and it's requiring collaboration.
Absolutely.
So since we're on a tight line, sorry, I had to interrupt, Anka. I just want to say maybe for the next meeting, just to put a deadline on something, we can say like each team come with your 5-minute idea. At least it doesn't have to be completed, but just come with your person and your idea for your slot, so we can slot something in there and have a little description for it.
Absolutely. You actually read my mind because I was gonna try to move us forward. Because this is just one part of the event, right? There's a bigger part where we're building the platform, right? And there is event content that we need, and we're talking about resource center, we're talking about the booths, the sponsors, and all of that needs to be funneled to Michelle so she has something to work with as she's working on building the platform. And that's prior to us even getting to the day of, right? Because we're going to open it a little early and we want to make sure that it's ready to go before we call it go.
Also, we want to talk about, we just need to, I think by next, we said by next week, we just need to know if we're going to have sponsorship, because if we're not going to have sponsorships, then each team will have its own kind of booth. So, and then you guys can tell me how you would want that designed. But if we have sponsors, then I can reach out to them and work with them. But by next week, I think you said, right, we need to know so that we can, how we're going to build that area.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm just going to jump in real quick here. We'd like to get Henry. Henry, thank you for waiting so patiently. I don't know if you guys know who Henry is, but I've caught him on LinkedIn, and what he's doing is really cool, and I think it would be a great addition to one of the interactive segments. Hi, Henry. We've never met. We chatted on LinkedIn briefly. So Henry, let's share. If you can, Sarah, if you can stop sharing your screen for a sec. Let's just take a quick pause and let's do a little break with Henry. You can talk to us about what he does, and then we can continue on. We still have a good half an hour left. So Henry, if you're there, welcome.
Thanks so much.
And thanks for sitting through that. That must have been riveting.
Well, no, because I'll explain in a second, because I was kind of trying to multitask, because I've met Nicole, and I think Anchor, and recognize you from previous events and a couple of others of you. Um, Bit of context, I guess. So I met Nicole and Liz in Vegas at IMEX last year, where actually, this was the first time I launched this crazy idea I had that you could basically engage a whole room and ask them to do something creative with AI and see where it goes. Uh, the slight caveat is I really want to demo it with you. I've just got back this week from 6 weeks in France, and this is the first time I've used it. And they've obviously changed something in the back end, because it doesn't seem to be generating the images right now. So I was WhatsApping my developer to tell him. So I can't actually do it with you live this minute, but I can show you an example of what I can do. Thanks, Anka. Yeah, I was excited to see that you had these couple of interactive moments. So if I share my screen, I'll talk you through what it is we can do, and you'll just have to run with me and kind of look at an old example, I'm afraid. Apologies for that. So hopefully you can now see the PowerPoint slides there. With a doodle. So basically what it is I ask is we ask the audience to draw something, and we give them 60 seconds. So this was for an experience event agency. So that was the thing, like imagine an idea that you'd be excited to pitch to clients around, event experiences. So again, itchy team, I would leave it to you to think of. Some of the questions we've done is, what jobs will humans do in the event industry in 5 years' time? Like, if you want to make it fun, like imagine how you could, do a really creative connection activation experience at your next event. Let's see some of those, etc., etc. And then what I do is as I said, we give people literally 60 seconds to draw a pen and paper, and they draw a really terrible doodle. Like you've just seen stick people, like you probably have to tell it what it is because you can't draw if you're anything like me. And then I get them to scan a QR code. So it's kind of like Slido visually, right? And so the QR code, you can scan this if you want to see a little bit of a user experience, but it won't work because I've closed the session to new things. But if you want to see what happens, you're welcome to scan that QR code. And basically what it does is it turns every participant's phone into a camera. Right, and they can then, and I then instruct them to take a picture of their doodle. Although when I presented this at South by Southwest, I gather in America that means something very different than it does in the UK. So I've learned to say, take a picture of your sketch instead. So everyone takes a picture of their little hand-drawn sketch. And what happens is they click generate and they can add. And this was kind of my example one that I stole when I did this with the World Experience Organization. I don't know if any of you are members of that, but that was a bunch of experienced designers. And someone had this very cool idea to have, imagine if you're at an event, you're all in a room and you have this giant room of artificial rain and you have to go and stand under an umbrella. So you're forced to talk to someone for 5 minutes. I thought it was a really cool idea. So I use it in a lot of my examples. And what happens is they get a couple of AI generated images from their doodles, from their sketches. Now, what happens if can you now see the web page has come up, right? So then what happens, because I've built this, you can do this on your phone on ChatGPT. You can take a picture of a sketch and turn it into an AI generated image. That's nothing special. Where it gets quite interesting is because I've built this and it's a single QR code. We show all of the images coming up live on a big screen, right? So you have to change to a web page like this. And if I'm doing this live, every 3 or 4 seconds, the page refreshes. And so as the images start to generate, this screen will fill up with people's results, right? And what happens, so that's the kind of collective experience. As an individual, what you get on your phone, this is what you see on your phone, is you see your personal gallery. The other thing that's very cool, and Anchor, I know you've seen this, and Liz and Nicole, I know you've seen this. Since you saw it in May, I think, South by Southwest London, I launched the new OpenAI image generation model. You can do so much cool stuff. So individuals get two little bonuses, right? As well as a little transformation of their doodle, they also get a WhatsApp chat between two AI agents, one of whom thinks it's the best idea in the world, the other one thinks it's a ridiculous idea, right? And so this is an entirely AI generated image. So I always get a bit nervous when I open it because I don't know if the text is going to work, right? But 99% of the time it does. So that's kind of a bit of fun. The more serious idea is every single participant, again, in real time, it takes about 90 seconds to do the generation, 60 to 90 seconds. They also get an innovation feasibility assessment and launch roadmap dossier. And you can probably read the headings here. You don't need to read the detail. It's like, sell this as if you're an ad man. Give me some synthetic market research on what this idea, who might be interested in the idea you've just drawn. Give me a technological feasibility assessment. How might I go and prototype and launch this, right? And so where we end up, what's very cool is, as I say, each person goes from a napkin sketch to a business plan in 90 seconds. What's also very cool is, and quite often, oh, why is that logged me out? I was in Chrome. I do this live and I download all of the images and I put them into Google Notebook LM, right? And I know you guys are using Google Notebook LM, but you get a summary of what the whole audience thinks about the prompt that you've just asked them and the interactive podcast, right? And again, I know you guys have published some of these videos online. That was why I saw Liz and reached out to Liz and said, hey, we should talk because I'm kind of doing the same thing. But there's something very, very cool about doing it live. And as I say, going from, and depending on how many audience members you have, I think you said a couple of hundred, as I say, going from 200 napkin sketches to an interactive podcast to 200 business plans. And then, of course, what we can do after the event is, of course, all the content is yours. If we do it together, you will then have whatever prompt it is we ask, right? Like, what would be a great event concept for you could sell in, H2 2025. You could then share that with the attendees and you can say, look, here you go. This was these were the 50 ideas that you came up with, and here are the 5 themes. So it's a great way of like crowdsourcing insight from your audience in real time. And it takes, as I say, a minute to draw. It's about 90 seconds to generate, a couple of minutes to review and show some of these examples. So, we can do it in 7, 8 minutes. It's certainly not 2.5 minutes, but if you guys are up for it, I think it would be a fun way of co-creating content with the audience.
I love it.
What might be kind of cool is if you're okay with it, Henry, the time would be to like do your segment, but then reveal the gallery at the end. You know what I mean? Bring you back up towards the end. So, okay, let's take a look at everybody's, and then we can, talk about it quickly. But I leave that up to the rest of the crew to decide, but maybe that's just an idea.
A final thought, depending on where you wanted me in the agenda, one of the other things I've done with a number of events is if it's towards the end of the event, getting people to draw their biggest takeaway from the event can be very powerful because then, of course, what the collective reveal is interesting to people because you can see like, does everyone see the same things? Does everyone and then you get like, okay, here's 50 takeaways from our audience, right? And we can curate the best ones, and so that can be a fun twist on it rather than just a creative concept.
Absolutely. How much time do you think you would need for that, Henry?
It's the same length of time. If I go to my, so again, it depends on if we do the podcast as well. Like it depends if you want me to talk about some of the strategic implications, because when I present this, I talk about what does this mean for your organization, etc. But if you want to condense it, the kind of minimum is probably 6 to 7 minutes would be, give us enough time to let the images come in, let people draw, and then have a few moments to discuss them. But it could lead nicely into a breakout session again, because when I do this live or virtually, doing it before a coffee break, so people give someone to talk about, or you can go up to someone like, hey, what did you draw? Like, did it work, etc., etc.
Yeah, we don't have the capability to do breakout sessions, unfortunately. But I think 7 minutes is fine, or
Yeah.
either in
I
the
love
middle.
this.
I like doing it in the middle and then revealing a quick reveal at the end, or just do it all together at once. But we
Or
we
what if
can
we
we
did it
can
right before the Q&A section, and
yeah,
then as a takeaway, have the Q&A and then have the reveal after the
yep.
Q&A so it gives a AI a second to prompt.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and Henry, to your question about Notebook LM, I think we already have a team that will spend quite a bit of time so focusing on Notebook LM because they did use it quite a bit, and we want them to use that as their tool. I know it's an awesome integration, but I think having the images, the takeaways, it's amazing just to see that visual outcome.
Thank you. That's really kind. And as I said, I'm embarrassed that you can't experience it live now. But again, it kind of works best when you get above 50 people because then, you get the volume of images that you couldn't otherwise capture, with just 15, 20 of us, or many of people are
Quick
here.
question for you, and then post-event, can we get that URL of those images that were posted? Is that something that you host, or how do we, so we can still show it on our website as post-event? Because we'll keep that up for about 3 months. Is that possible?
100%. Yeah, I'm not still showing my screen, but that URL I mean, I can drop in the one that I showed you right now into the chat, right? It's just an open link. So that is
Mhm.
very accessible. What I normally do is, and I'm showing, I normally combine like a Google Notebook briefing summary with, and then I just cherry pick kind of 15 or 20 of the best images and drop it into a collage and make a little 3 page like summary of what was shared is probably more accessible. But embedded in that is a link to the source images. So again, as if people miss them, etc., like lose their link, they can go back and find them.
That's awesome. Can you download your own image once you're there?
You can
I
download
think
your own images, you can share. I
awesome.
overshare. I'm far too generous with all this stuff, right? I'm like, once I do it with you, it's all
Love
yours,
it.
right? That's the whole point of it.
And I think a quick note to the marketing team, since it sounds like we're welcoming Henry into this hackathon with open arms, would be to promote that he's going to be there, and
Yeah.
schedule some posts around Henry, and that we're going to be doing a live AI powered interactive segment with Henry.
Mm. I'm wondering if we can have a quick feature even on the website, Natasha. Just build like a quick feature somewhere there where like we'll have Henry, the man, bringing.
Oh yeah,
I think we kind of
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah, if we have language or anything specific that we want to use, that can easily be added. No problem.
Yeah, his
I can
his
give you some
LinkedIn
tips.
is right there. Oh yeah, there you go, Henry. You can
Yeah.
connect with Natasha and get her the bio and stuff. Be awesome. Thank you.
I can give you all my details, and I've got some blurb that I've used.
Absolutely perfect.
And I'm thinking maybe we put Henry either maybe, yeah, Peter had mentioned maybe in the expo hall, or if we wanted to have, because in the resource center, we only have three basically areas, segments that we can put in content. We can put a lot of content into one, but there's only three different segments that we can utilize. I don't know if we want to make one of those for Henry that then they can go back and they could download and re-interact with the content.
Did everybody took kind of like a view of what this looks like. And I'm sorry, this is my sandbox, so it's not the actual platform that Michelle is working on it, cleaning up. But basically, the opportunities that we're talking about is like when you first come into the venue, right? We have a few opportunities here, but the resource center that we're talking about is this. So each one of those could be like if we wanted to give real estate to our main sponsors, or maybe to like Henry, where you could go into this and then explore more of what that looks like. And then for the expo hall, and we're gonna rename some of those. This is what that looks like, where we could either have our sponsors. Again, this is a great a segue into Liz, because I saw she just popped in to find out where we are, kind of sort of where we are, if we're going to have opportunities for sponsors, or it could be our team, each one of our teams to have something to show on those booths.
On the sponsorship front, I have had no yeses other than our TK Events, who of course is the main platform sponsor. So we can definitely talk about them and the Virtual Creator Studio. But I don't know if that they need like a booth, because we'll talk about them throughout. So there's definitely opportunity. I think, well, I do have one, GIV. So they are, it's instead of giving swag, you can give charitable contributions, and they have an AI charity matchmaker. So when you drop in your LinkedIn profile, it will predict charities that would be relevant to you.
Oh, wow.
And so that's kind of a fun one, and it allows us to do a little give back in it. So they're not a paid sponsor, but I would like to include them as one of those expo options.
Yeah. So Liz, then maybe we could, I don't know, give it another week and then call it, because we're gonna have to start coding what those places are called, those rooms, and then what do we want to put in it, because otherwise it's gonna be way too much to do in the little time left.
Yep. I think that sounds great.
Okay. And talking about babies and Gabrielle, if you had extra time that you wanted to help Michelle with, there is quite a bit of just designing those booth spaces once we know what they're gonna be. So Michelle could definitely use some help on that, because I don't want her to feel overwhelmed with how much work.
Did we talk about having an AI avatar of this baby? Because I'm enthralled by just
Liz, wait till
watching.
you see the video that I'm sending you and Nicole tomorrow featuring him. You'll love it. But yes, Anka, I'm here to help, and no one wants me on their team yet. So sign me up. I'm in.
I claimed you.
Baby.
I have claimed you in the chat.
I want to see more of that baby. Open God.
Oh. Okay, anything else we want to touch on? What are, Joanna, any updates? Oh, sorry, Liz, we were just going in a circle here trying to
Yes, perfect.
cover everyone.
Joanna, yeah, we see you trying to get off mute. No worries.
Yeah, took me a minute. Hey guys, so I did upgrade to Notebook, the professional version of Notebook LM, and I was able to add on last week's notes, as well as some of the branding stuff. But the limitation that I came across, which I need help with, because I feel like you guys have the answer, but it didn't apply the branding to the video output. And it told me several times that it's not going to do that. I kept asking in different ways, and they're like, I told you, we're not doing that. So, what other AI tool might I try to incorporate our branding onto the explainer video that explains our process?
Does the explainer video give you a script? Can you copy paste that out?
Yes, I think so. We have a video, an audio podcast type thing, and I think I can export a script out of the video. I'll have to look and see. But
Because we could just have the robot do it. If you just give me the script, we can just have him do that.
Would it just be a talking head
It'd just be
robot?
talking, yeah, it'd just be talking glitchy.
I mean, at the same time, like, okay, first off, Notebook LM is an amazing tool, and we can just use it as is, with or without branding for the output. Because the truth is, if you're going to try to take that script to Luma or VO3 or some of the other Dream Machine, whatever, some of the other video tools out there, you're not going to be able to generate such a long length video, like 8 to 10 minutes. On a free plan, even on a paid plan, you're going to struggle a bit, right? So we can go with that to be some of our assets, some of our kind of like, our thoughts on on video, basically, with B-roll, awesome B-roll that we didn't have to do, we didn't have to work on, right? And then anything that is really marketed for the event, it's been very much created by the marketing team. We'll stick with that to be on brand per se, right? And then everything else is like, it's extra collateral. Look at all this awesome content we were able to generate and create with AI based on our notes, based on our thinking. I think it's still relevant content.
Just a quick idea for you. Why not just take the output from Notebook LM and just add the branding afterwards? Just
So
add
that's
a
kind of what I was
just add a
thinking.
logo in the corner, or you can
Yeah.
create like an overlay
in
in
a frame.
Canva.
Little frame. Yeah.
You could probably use Descript or Opus clips that have also like
Super easy.
AI generated
Yeah.
B-roll.
You can use
Canva has
Canva,
video.
really, just
Yeah,
put-
yeah. A few different options there.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's a
was
great
thinking
idea.
it would be easy to take the existing video and just insert on top of it, or in between frames, we could insert some branding. Like it did automatically incorporate our logo, but that was our logo on top of its look and feel, So we absolutely could edit the existing video and just incorporate our brand here and there.
And I
It
think that's
wouldn't be
also
a
part of the experience, is like figuring out the limitations of what these things can do, what they can and can't do, right? And I think that's a good thing to report back on.
And realize that a lot of the times it's going to take multiple AI solutions to come to the output that you're trying to get.
So the
Definitely
other thing
stacking.
I wanted to ask everybody's opinion on what are my team's deliverables? I mean, I really love the video. I love the podcast. Do we need a downloadable PDF? What are the deliverables we want to offer to attendees? And I'm also assuming we're offering these to attendees as like a gift.
So, Joanna, with Notebook LM, what I really love to also do when I'm in there is mind maps and FAQs.
I have
Or
those.
to create like FAQ. I think that's like something that could also be useful. And then anything above and beyond is just having additional content that we can put in our own resource center. I had a question actually. I think it's to Natasha, because right when we're done with the platform, we don't want people to go back. Do we want people to go back to the platform, or do we want them to go back to the landing page that we're creating?
The web.
I think it's just going to depend on what's on both of them for them to go back to. So like if they want to go back to them, what is there for them to go back to these platforms, right?
Yeah, like what is
I
our
personally,
evergreen?
I feel like we should go back to the website that Natasha built. So it should go back to that as a resource hub, because I think otherwise the platform will be done when the event is over, but they could still go back to the website to access the materials at any time. I feel like that's more sensical to me.
Me too, because I mean, I rarely go back to say a Whova or a Cvent or any other platform just for the resources. But if it's a simple landing page somewhere that I could easily press on a link or download something, I would rather do that than try to log in back into something that I did once.
Could we leave the platform up like at least a week? So it's like catch it on
yeah.
demand if you missed it. And so this is here, you can go in and do the things, but then the site has the easy to access resources.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, Michelle, we were talking with Peter that he's going to have it up did he give us a time as long as how much time?
He said we could have it as long as we wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said. So, but I also agree with having it being directed also to the landing page, just because, having to log back in. But I feel like, to make it easier for the attendees.
Well, what I was thinking is like, typically what we see with our events is that when we posted virtual events is that people don't log in after like a week. So we could keep it up for about a week. And then what we could do is it might be, I don't know if there's a tool that could do we have a team that's dedicated to post event? Okay.
I
Joanna.
think Dax.
So
Dax.
what would be cool
Just from
is
a
if we
content
had,
perspective, yeah.
yeah, is if we had like highlights from the event and like stats of what happened at the event, and then like clips of like the best moments from the event. And then we could also have like a resources section that's all of the different materials that we shared. So have both of the like speaker highlights, resources, and materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one
Those-
thing that Snapsite would be creating those key highlights and like the actionable tips with the word map. That definitely will be doing that. So we can
Oh,
add to the-
perfect.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
then I
then
think it would just be
StreamYard.
giving it to Natasha then when we're done so
Yeah.
that she can organize on the website after.
And then on the StreamYard and for the video that you mentioned, the Reels, automatically AI on the StreamYard end will generate AI clips, like 30, 60-second clips that normally I would send them straight to YouTube. We could have them on this YouTube AI Hackathon Klabichi channel, but they could also be somewhere embedded on the site if we want at least a few of them, like not, a gazillion.
And also what Sparks does, what I've done with my video content after my events is you upload your video content into it, and then it can look for like, really great quotes that they feel like, and they'll pull out and give you the timestamp so that we could go back, or it can look for any hidden insights that maybe that, we can bring out from like what the audience felt or how they interacted with us throughout the event.
And that's Sparks.
That's the one that we have the free, the paid, for I think for a couple months we have it.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which is a great tool to use in general beyond this, especially since I think it was Tess that shared a code with us too.
Yes.
So today I had a thought, guys, is, what happens beyond this event? I think it'll be interesting to see how our how Glitch lives on, what personality he takes on after, how much interaction we'll get from or traffic we'll get from people who attended versus people who didn't attend. I believe that it's possible that this could have life beyond the event as well, which would be interesting.
I just want us to go back and rewatch the video 1 year from now and see how ridiculous our lives are when the robots had actually taken over everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know we are at time. Since I missed the first 30 minutes just to catch up, I saw in Slack, we've now officially launched. We have all the links. We can go into the Google Doc and add our headshot and our link so that we can then kind of virally share all the things. Any other big marketing things we need to go out and push right now? I actually haven't even had conversations with my partner committee. So Megan, maybe we can connect on some of that, and maybe we spend the next 7 days to see if anybody wants to contribute and be on the expo side. But other than that, marketing.
Yes, spread the word. That would be
Yeah, we
great.
got to promote that Henry's involved. Let the registration breathe for a day or so, and then prepare. Everyone hopefully can share the registration links, and then we can promote Henry's involvement as well.
Yeah. And marketing team, if you can make it I know I'm lazy, but like if you can make a copy and paste easy social, shareable, several like versions of it, I think it would be amazing. And then Dara brought a great point. Liz, what's the CTA? Like aside from join our event, do we want to bring them into the communities? Hey, you want to create something awesome like that? Come join Kabichi kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's if you want opportunities to play with tech and see how you can use it in your real life and business, that's what this community is all about. Like, get people in here to touch and feel and work together and make new friends. Like, you guys are amazing.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you all, and we will see you next week, and we'll talk every 5 minutes. Go, go, go. Y'all are awesome. I'm so impressed. This is great. Thank you again, Henry. Good to see you.
Let's go out with some glitch.
Hey, glitchy.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
I love it. So cute.
I love it that you were dancing, Liz, because that was one of my ideas about having everybody dance with the glitch.
I mean, how can you not? He's so inviting. He's like our little robotic Groot. So good. Thanks, y'all. Bye.